this, man. You know, I got into it. I was into, you know, I was a little older, so I was into a different kind of music. You know, Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, that kind of shit.
Malmsteen pretty much just came out right then. You were freaking out about that. I remember that. You were just really into leads and stuff, and and I was just skipping school, just getting wasted out of my mind, fucking listening to this Venom and fucking anything satanic, basically anything fucking evil, Black Sabbath, anything crazy. And then I met Steve in high school, and him and I,
a drummer.
I noticed that he was wearing a Metallica fucking vest, so I figured, you know, he might be pretty cool. So him and I started hanging out and, you know, skipping school and, you know, running away from the cops, smoking pot everywhere, and fucking just being a bunch of idiots. And we'd end up skipping school, and when Steve moved his drum set down, he moved it into my bedroom, and we just started.
Actually, it was my bedroom.
Yeah, that's right.
You fuckers.
We took over.
I was in another band. You're like, quit that fucking shit. Let's do some death metal. And I'm like, that shit ain't gonna make no fucking money, man.
Yeah.
You know? Then I got into it. I was like, that shit's pretty fucking good. So I started fucking jamming on it and picked it up in 5 minutes, showed him some fucking riffs.
Yeah, we just we'd skip school, and fucking whenever our parents would go to work, we'd sneak in the house and just start, you know, playing Show No Mercy and MOD and anything we could find, and, you know, any music that was going on right then and at that time, pretty much Slayer and you know, Destruction, of course, and Sodom.
Then we had two guys come in with Andy and Ron. One was a bass player and singer. We were called Carnage.
Yeah, at the very beginning, and then the bass player, Ron, wouldn't show up for practice. He just stopped, you know, showing up, and we were, you know, serious. And I started looking around, and I was looking in a local paper and seeing Glen that was looking for a 3-piece, and, you know, he was, you know, looking for like Venom type music and stuff. I figured I'd give him a call, and he came out and checked. We already had a couple songs. We had Sacrificial down, Lunatic, and what was another one?
Oblivious.
There was a few of them that were already done and written.
Crucifix and all that.
Yeah, I think that was just about done. And then we just started from there. You know, once Glen, he could play the bass, and then we noticed he played, you know, with his fingers, and he was good, and he was, you know, able to play and stuff at first. And he didn't sound like he does now back then, of course.
Well, he was in a different band.
Yeah, we were looking for something just crazy and stuff. That's how it came around.
First up on the list, first one I ever got, Sig Sauer pistol, 8-shot, 45, cleared breech, of course, right, just hammer it back, hammer, it's ready to go, right there, no safety, pop in the clip, load it up, that's ready to go right there, drop the safety, drop the clip, out it goes around. We're safe again. See daylight through there. It's a good weapon. Accurate.
How old do you have to be to own a gun or have a gun?
18. You gotta go on the waiting list for handguns and whatnot, but rifles, hunting stuff, you can get right out the store with it.
Really?
Yeah, guns are not toys. This is just a older model, Korea War era, 30 caliber, U.S. Marine Army issue. This is unloaded. Clip I knew.
Do you use that for hunting?
You could. I've never fired it though. You know, it's old. I want to just kind of keep it as a
memento.
Antique, yeah.
Oh, it's quite small. That I thought they would be bigger.
Yeah, it's a carbine. It's a smaller.
Oh, is that what a carbine is?
Carbine means like exactly that. A smaller version. Long rifle, you know, would be about this big. Carbine. Gave it to officers and paratroopers and stuff. You know, it weighs less. And it's easier to move around when you got jumping out of a plane or whatever. Alright. Where the fun begins.
Well,
Yeah, there's no reason to be afraid of guns, you know. You get to know them, you know, you take a class on what to do. Got another one over here. Pistol grip shotgun.
Oh, fuck me. It's like off the films.
Yeah, this is a nice one for sure. I could load it, but I think I'll.
Is it not loaded? I was looking in the hole there. Is that not?
It's
Bullet in there?
no, it's not in there. It's ready to be loaded.
Ah, right. So they come up from down
Right
there.
now, yeah. Chamber's empty though.
Right.
Let's get a
Just
shot.
keep it that way.
Yeah.
Works for me.
It's down in there. You would see one in there.
How much does a gun like that cost?
This is only a couple $100.
Really?
But this is quality. I mean, if you're gonna, someone's broken into your house or whatever. I mean, with a pistol at night or whatever, which isn't probably gonna happen. You know, the lights won't be on. You're not gonna have time to be accurate to a bullet. So this will lay out just a nice fine spray. If you're in the doorway or just pointing out into the kitchen or wherever. So that's a fun one. That one is truly awesome to go to the range and blast, man. Get that smoke build up around here.
Fucking hell.
M16.
It's pretty close. This is a Bushmaster V-match. Laser scope. Banana clip. Carbine, of course. You can see it's tiny. And yeah, 223. So pretty much fires the same as a M16 would.
Is that automatic? No.
No,
Semi.
they're illegal. Semi-automatic, just like a pistol would be.
Yeah.
As fast as you can pull the trigger.
How big are the bullets on that thing?
They're 22 caliber, but
Oh, 2.2.
they come out of a 223 shell. I mean, maybe a small round, but you're talking out of a.
Right.
Look at all that gunpowder in there.
So that's pretty.
So you're talking like a 9mm pistol round goes about 900 feet per second, and I believe these go in the neighborhood of 2,000 feet per second.
Fucking
So
hell.
the velocity is way up there, so you don't need a 40, huge caliber. The speed will liquefy anything it comes in contact with, basically.
And you can just kind of wander out and stick that in the car and drive down the range and shoot it.
Well, you got to have it in a case or a bag or something, but
Right.
yeah, pretty much. It's Florida, a lot of the southern states, Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, Georgia, I think, Tennessee, Alabama. The South, that's what's different from the North. Is you get caught with a gun in New York City, man, they're going to throw the book at you.
Yeah.
Down here, I mean, you can go between the states. I got pulled over one time with my pistol in Texas, and he didn't care. He was a state trooper. I think he found a joint on me too. That's what he cared about. But he was cool, He was like, you told me you had it. You were honest. Cut your break. He's like, that gun, I don't care. He was like, I know you need a gun out here. You shouldn't get robbed.
There's a tremendous discussion in this country about gay marriage, and I don't know if this is really an issue or not, but are they going to make us married?
I always love to get my rocks off every day. It's great. So
So that's good.
Fucking hilarious.
Two class clowns here. They're
Good.
both down. Go strictly for some face action.
Sorry?
Go for some face time. Throat, chin, cheek, temple. Now you're talking throat gauge. Toe? 6, I think.
Is that right in the middle?
He ain't looking too good these days. He's on dialysis from what I heard. Gonna be on a lot more after that show of force.
Hello, Steve.
Hello.
Time to roll a joint.
We need it. Weed is good. Smoke it every day.
What? Can we start that again? So I fucked that up. Sorry, mate.
Okay. I'm Brian Hoffman from Deicide. I'm a guitar player. That's what I do. That's all I pretty much do besides, you know, design guitars right now. And I'm just building a guitar. One of my first prototypes. It's pretty much a V shape. It's fucking evil as hell. And I'm just now routing out the pickups and the tremolo, and just did the tuning pegs and the headstock and everything, so it's almost done. Hopefully it'll be ready to go on the road with me, so that's about where I'm at right now. You know, I'm just working on leads, you know, pretty much doing that. Hopefully Glen just, you know, finished up his vocals besides 2 songs, and I just have to come up with leads, me and Erik, and we'll be good. The album will be finished, we'll be ready to go. Actually, I think this is probably the best album we've ever done. It's the hardest for me, so I consider it, you know, it's something that takes a lot of time, and it took us a lot of time to write and play. It's difficult to play, so for me, it's, you know, it's a challenge, and I always love challenges. So this album is definitely my favorite so far because of, you know, just the music and, you know, how fast it is. You know, I just like the abusive hatred, you know, just pure hate, pretty much. That's what I live by. Erik seems like they're definitely pushing us harder. You know, they seem like they're more interested. They're not just, you know, we're not just another band. So it's good. It's good. You know, Erik's treating us well so far, and they're making us work. So that's good. You know, that's what I want to do. I don't want to sit around. I want to work and, you know, accomplish things. So touring and you know, albums and just doing the best we can right now. Hopefully, you know, it'll come out. I'm totally pleased with it, but hopefully everybody else will be pleased with it too. You know, it's hard to, you know, write leads to such fast rhythm parts, so, you know, you got to know as much as you possibly can to come out with something that sounds right. So that's kind of what we're doing right now. It's just working together and getting these leads done. It takes a lot of brain power, especially when you're, you know, as old as me. My tats? Well, yeah. You know, Jason Avery started doing, this is one of the first ones I got. This is a Martin Luther. It's basically wood carvings. And this is like the second one I got. This one is like a 1500 style, like I said, wood carvings, and I just kind of wanted to go with artwork that you don't usually see, you know, like the Pope and stuff. This is all wood carvings from the 1500s, and just did coloring and changed them around, you know, made him fucking, you know, with his blood dripping out of his, you know, the pentagrams and shit like that. And you know, all this stuff is just like this one. This one's really old too. It's the devil eating Judas and his followers. You know, pretty much you know, satanic type. You know, and Mephistopheles and, you know, the evil Pope and shit like that. Mother Mary over here, she's all cut up and fucking full of diseases and viruses, and her throat's sliced, and, you know, just bloody fucking gory evil shit. It's one I still got plenty of room. This is, you know, a Geiger Necronomicon thing. I changed it around, did the Necronomicon sign around there, and changed a couple other things with the babies, you know, the skulls and stuff. It still needs to be finished a little bit, but this was all freehand done by Tom Kernan down there on Me Machine Tattoos. You know, he freehanded all this stuff. I just wanted like Geiger type, you know, really cool stuff like that, so it came out good. And Jason Avery from Monstrosity just did this one on my neck about a couple months ago. And he's working. Yeah, this one came out good. It was about 3 hours. It's really clean. Did a real good job on that one. And then he's working on my chest right here. He's gonna be doing the Medusa and shit once that's all done. That'll be fucking killer. I'm gonna do them all crazy in blues and greens and shit. It'll be all evil. And the snakes will come up on my neck. They'll wrap around up on my neck. And then hopefully this tour, when we go on in October, a good friend of mine, Manny, they call him Creeper, from Oregon. He's going to be doing my skull. We've been talking about it for a couple of years. He actually did this tattoo right here and did a lot of the color work while I was on tour. You know, he spent a lot of time on that.
Really, it's
going to be all the way from my neck. It's going to be all bio, like vertebrae coming up to a skull with like two skulls attached to it with a bunch of bio, like mech kind of stuff like that. You know, tubes and crazy shit. And it's going to come into a pentagram right to a widow's peak on my head. It's gonna be a pentagram on there, so that'll be cool. With, you know, all kinds of crazy bubbly shit, weird fucking, you know, parts of the brain showing and weird stuff like that. You know, pretty much just going off. But he's really good. He knows, he's really good with bio stuff. So that's who I'm gonna have to, you know, do that for me. So it's gonna be cool. Can't wait to get it done.
Well, we all believe in Satan. You know, I mean, that's just how we were brought up, and that's our personal thing. You know, we don't really like to go into that because, you know, the Christian thing is so huge that we get death threats and all this and that. So it's like, y'all know we're Satanists, so we just leave it at that. You know, that's our religion. That's just what we believe in. It's freedom of speech. So hail Satan, motherfuckers, like I said.
It's hideously dangerous.
I had my first bike for a week and a half and totaled it.
How did that happen?
Some old lady pulled out in front of me. I had my 10-year-old on the back, and I just left my sister's place, and I was doing about 55, 60, and this old lady come pulling out in front of me, just locked up the brakes, looked at me, and I looked at her, and she didn't want to move, so me and the kid popped off the back of the bike. I said, okay, you can have it. The bike slid at her. Just as the bike almost hit her car, she moved out of the way, and the bike missed her car and hit a median, did about 10 flips in the air, parts flying everywhere. And me and the kid slid out about 60-something feet. Got up, laid him in the ground, checked him out, made sure he wasn't nothing broken. And then I hobbled over to her car, make sure she wasn't leaving. Ain't Christianity, man. I hate the fucking, it's just retarded, man. All bullshit. I had some kid now emailing me and shit with this stupid crap. I told him, I said, okay, well, whatever, you know. When Judgment Day comes, just look for me, because I'll be standing on the biggest pile of dead Christians holding your Christ decapitated heads. You'll find me there. All it is to me, I mean, I grew up watching this person brainwashed and that person brainwashed by religion, and I just have a great distaste for it. Like that priest just getting killed in prison. I think they should have just toasted his ass the day they caught him. That priest, he molested like 128 kids. Somebody, I guess his cellmate killed him.
They were on the news looking for pity.
Yeah.
They're like, this guy was murdered in prison, but then they got a report that there was about 8 other priests put on leave for being under suspicion of molesting kids. So it's like they're looking for pity, and then
They've been doing it for so many years, man.
record.
It's like they just don't think anything of it. They really don't. And it's like,
They put him in charge of the boys' choir when they know they're out there molesting them.
You know, just because you're a priest don't mean you can't partake in buying a prostitute or two, whatever. I mean, fuck. You know, I mean, you can only jerk it so many times before you start getting a little fucking aggravated.
They busted that one priest a couple months back, going to a whorehouse, paying the girls to dress up like nuns.
That's great. I like it.
All right.
Oh Lord, you know, fuck you, Lord, man. There's no fucking Lord.
It's getting about that time of the day where it rains here in the state of Florida. Go home in my hobble. So, 8 o'clock.
Yeah, as soon as you can.
Right.
Cook up some food here too.
You got it.
Go hang out.
We played at this farm and fucking had that, like you were saying, the mannequin and shit, and we fucking chopped down the mannequin. It was like totally packed full of rotten fucking like livers and shit from cows and intestines and everything. And we sat out in the sun all day long and flies and everything. And we hung it up and the dogs were licking up the blood that was dripping because it had a hole in the mannequin that was just dripping a little bit. And as soon as it was split open, them fucking pit bulls just went nuts. They were totally red because they were white, you know, they were white pit bulls too, and they were totally red. They ate up all the fucking rotten meat. They must have been shitting for days.
We did this at another club called the Sunset Club, and they ended up closing the club down.
Yeah, because we were throwing guts and fucking Richie Rich was whipping us with the intestines and shit, man. Because, you know, the fucking big cow intestines, pig intestines, whatever they had, they're fucking swinging it around, fucking throwing guts around that. And then we pretty much weren't allowed to play anywhere after that, you know.
We did that to the Masquerade.
Yeah,
They had seats in there. Now they don't have chairs in there.
Yeah,
no
we
more.
destroyed
fucked it up.
thousands of dollars worth
Fucking
of shit.
stinks so bad they couldn't fucking get
They had to
out.
close it down. The health department came down and closed the fucking place down.
I thought it was
because
a human sacrifice.
Yeah, because I mean, once you have that rotten meat fucking everywhere, it's hard to fight, even with bleach and shit, to get that smell out of there.
So we couldn't get a fucking show. What the fuck did we have to do? We couldn't play the fuck. We couldn't wear the armor. We couldn't fucking do any smoke. We couldn't.
Yeah,
do
we
shit.
had to sign a contract saying that we couldn't, you know, we would not destroy anything and we wouldn't get paid. So
Yeah.
that's
Scared
where,
the
you know,
fuck
we
out
weren't
of
allowed to
everybody.
do any more of that shit anymore. We would still be doing it probably.
Yeah. So now we got to get up there in our fucking jeans and
We'd probably have Mad Cow by now if we were still doing it, swinging around, going to fucking England and shit, swinging around all the fuck out over there. We'd definitely not doing too good by now, having the twitches.
Yeah, you had the health department come down on you and that kind of thing.
Yeah, that wasn't very healthy, but it was fun. You know, when we were kids, it was great stuff. I'll never forget that shit. It was fucking great.
In '92, back in the days, I used to take and use the scarring effect makeup on it to make a cross on my forehead. And one morning I woke up and I said, you know what, that's just cheesy. And I took my chapel cross that I had and I fastened it onto a piece of coat hanger and then heated it up in a candle and stuck it in my head. I said, damn, that fucking hurt. Okay, let's do it again. It ain't deep enough. Whap myself again with it. So I had a big blister in the form of a cross, and I picked it off with a pair of tweezers. And then about 2 weeks later, after it was healed, I burned it again. Peeled it off. A couple months later, burned it again.
Who are you talking about? You? Or you?
Look at him, Glen's got himself a lizard. I think he's going to eat it.
He's ready for a drag off of that thing.
Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me, Mr. Benton. I promise I will never do wrong again by you.
There we go. Hey! The lizard killer.
That's the Florida roach.
Come on, buddy. Come back to life. It's just had the air knocked out of you. Hey, man, just don't touch my tail. I don't like my tail touched. You ever see when you tail the tail off and the tail keeps wiggling?
We've definitely made ourselves happy with this album, so hopefully we made everybody else happy too, because basically it's us, you know. That's why we started playing in a band, is to make ourselves happy, to fucking play the music that we wanted to play, what we wanted to hear.
Man, he ripped my fucking tail off. You know how long it took me to grow that muff? Kick me, rip my tail off. Let me go. That's good stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of stories, so many. Too many.